Hey, this is Brenda Devine from Purpose 8 Institute. Hey, I just want to say thank you once again for joining me for another episode of my podcast, Living a Life of Purpose. So today's topic is, what if you are wrong? Yeah. What if you are wrong? What if the way you think about things, there's room for discernment, analysis, more information? What if you are wrong? What if the way that you have been living is wrong? What if you're living by the way that you were raised up? What if you are wrong? What if the way that you feel is something manifested from your past and you just keep going the same way, never thinking about something that needs to change? What if you are wrong? What if you've poured your whole life into a business, a career, a person, a thing, an experience, the past, hopeful for the future? What if you're wrong? I had a really good experience last week. I got an opportunity to present my project, Corner Store, KORNR Store, to a group of real estate professionals at an organization that I belong to. And my project is based on, it's bigger than me. It's a neighborhood marketplace model and concept that I've been working on quite a while. And the numbers pencil out. There's a need for it. It solves a problem. During the presentation, I was running through the project, and there's an individual in the group who's all finance, all numbers, all business. And I get it, because I'm all numbers, I'm all business, and he's the type of person that would go to a presentation and find something to essentially blow up a presentation. And I understand that, because I've done that. When you're a financial person, when you're looking at models and analytical, you're testing the model. And so I get it. I didn't have a problem with it. I find it interesting because that's how I operate too. You're testing your model. So during the presentation, he didn't get what everyone else got in the room. That the project worked, that it was in the right location, it solved a problem, it presented a solution, it's a neighborhood concept. And he didn't get the part about why I couldn't find a lender. Because he runs numbers, he's financial, he couldn't understand it. And I had to flip it back on him and say, well, this is what I'm challenging. This is my challenge. This is my challenge to find a lender. And I'm going to flip it back on you, because you're a financial person. You run numbers. You develop models. What is missing? What do I need to do? And he lost his footing. Because I challenged his thinking and I pushed him to think a different way, because he's been working and modeling financials for years, and this is his process. But he never contemplated another way of thinking about this model. He was accustomed to seeing the same and approving and agreeing to models that fit within his box, within his frame of thinking. So I challenged him. Out of a room of, I think, maybe 10 to 12 people, he didn't get it. And so I say, what if you are wrong? What if the experience, your life, where you are right now, what if you've got it wrong? Doesn't mean you wasted your life. Doesn't mean that you have no way to start over. But what if you step back and really looked at where you are in your life, in your relationship with God, how you look at yourself, how you look at other people, how you speak, how you think, how you act, how you pray, how you worship, your relationship with God, your relationship with your family, your relationship with yourself, how you look at how you fit into the world. What if you step back and considered that you might be wrong? Maybe you're right, but maybe there's something that you could tweak, that you could look at a different way, that you could change, that you can make better. What if you just step back and not exist in who you think you are, your title, your job, your position, your business, your social status, your influence, your family position, wife, husband, brother, sister, cousin, friend? What if you looked at where you are right now in your life, in your relationship with God, as you're pursuing your purpose, as you're discovering your purpose? What if you step back and really looked at where you are and who you are? You know, we all have these preconceived notions of who we are. People have told us who we are from the time we were born. You're my little boy, you're my little girl, you're so cute. Oh, you just like your daddy. Maybe you should work on that. You got a communication problem. You should really get a handle on that. You got a bad attitude. You're beautiful. You're clumsy. You walk funny. You got pimples. Those glasses. Really, maybe you shouldn't wear glasses. You would look better if you did this. Maybe you should try. That's all different ways of trying to tell us who we are. And we're not always comfortable in our skin. And we want to run with the herd. We want to be like everybody else. We want to fit in. But what if you're looking at this all wrong? What if you step back and examine your life where you are right now? Are you living the life that you feel you should be living? Are you living the life that you know God has purpose for you? Are you living the life that makes you happy? Are you living a life fearless and bold? Are you living an authentic life, being you, being free? Are you living the life of being humble and content and peaceful and joyful? Are you living the life of being happy, satisfied, are you? Or have you gotten it all wrong? See, lots of times we wait till we get old and we want to contemplate what we didn't do, what we should have done, what we would have, could have. We don't take time to pause and go, okay, where am I? Because we get lost in the shuffle of life. We get lost in pursuing things. We get lost. We get distracted really easy. We get distracted by being offended. We get distracted while friends leave us. We get distracted with new friends. We get distracted with people's emotions and anger. We get distracted by people being really friendly and nice with us. We get distracted in our marriages. We get distracted in our relationships with our children. We get distracted. We can even get distracted by religion. We have all these things going on that we can easily get distracted on. And we get to churning and doing the same thing for weeks and months and years. And we don't take the time to pause and say, what if I've got this wrong? What if I'm wrong about how I think? What if I'm wrong about my heart? Maybe I've not gotten all those issues. I've not acknowledged everything that's going on with me. What about those things that are still pulling on me? Those triggers when I get mad. Where is that from? Maybe we've not really taken the time and pause and say, have I gotten this right? Because sometimes we just go along. And because we've done something so long the same way, we think it's right. Because it's comfortable. Because this is how we're taught. This is how we're raised. This is what I'm used to. But that doesn't mean it's right. Maybe it was right 10 years ago. Maybe it was right 5 weeks ago. Maybe it was right then. But what about now? We easily get stuck. We do. So I'm going to challenge you like I challenged the gentleman that was at my presentation. As I challenged the people that were in that room, as I challenged myself, as I challenged my husband, as I challenged my son, as I challenged my friends, what if what I'm doing is wrong? Have I considered there's something new? There's something else. There's something that I've not contemplated. Have I looked around? Have I opened my eyes? What is the condition of my heart? Is it open to receive? Have I challenged those things? Or do I intend to just stay where I am and do the same thing forever and ever and ever and ever? Some people, they just want to stay in one spot. And if that's what they want to do, that's cool. But if you are a believer, if you know you have a purpose, if you know that God has called you for something greater, you can't stand still. You can't have your mind fixated on just one way of doing something. You have to contemplate all of the different ways that God has given you to do something. To think, to react, to love, to be. You have to be open and receptive to other ways that God could be speaking to you, prompting you, leading you to something. But if you're so stagnated, if you're so rigid, if you're so comfortable in the desert, you will never challenge and be open to what God has called you to do. And it may be more than one thing. What if your purpose has layers? What if your purpose has more than one thing for you to do? I've shared with you over and over again. I thought it was one thing and I did it and I thought it was over. And then it morphed into something different, but still connected. What if there is more than what you think it is? What if you are wrong? So I'm going to challenge you to open your mind, to open your heart, open your thinking. When you get up in the morning, when you're spending time with God, look at things new. Take a different perspective. Take a different way to work. Take a different drive. Don't always take the freeway. Take the streets and see what you're missing when you drive through neighborhoods. Talk to people you haven't talked to before. Learn a new skill. Take a class. Volunteer for something. Give away something. Help somebody. Try something new. Open up your mind. Don't be rigid. Don't be rigid. Don't be selfish. Don't be prideful and think the way that you think, the way that you do things is the only way that there is. There are you have so many gifts. God gives us so many gifts. You may not even know what all your gifts are. And you definitely don't know what the capacity of your gifts are. I don't know what the capacity of my gifts are. You won't ever know, and I won't ever fully know the capacity of our gifts if we're rigid, if we never consider the idea that we could be wrong. So I want you to marinate on that a little bit. I want you to think about that while you're going about your day. Even before your day starts. Ask God, what does He want you to see? What does He want you to hear? What does He want you to do? What does He want you to be open? To be open to receive. Lord, let my eyes and my ears and my heart be open to receive what you have. Let me be open to receive what you have, what you want me to do. Not what I want to do, but what you want me to do. Who do you want me to talk to? What do you want me to touch? What do you want me to do? Don't be rigid. Don't just think that everything revolves around the way you think, the way you do, the way you go about your life. There are so many things open for you. But we hold ourselves back in pride when we think the only way things can get done are the way that we do it and the way that we think and the way that we've been doing it all this time. You can change up. I don't care if you're 99 years old. You can always do something new. You can always think something new. You can always add on to who you are. You can always learn something else about you that you've not yet discovered. But you gotta consider the idea that maybe what you're doing, maybe what you've been doing, it's not always right. Maybe there's another way. Maybe there are other ways. Maybe you need to be open to receive what God has. This is Brenda Devine from Purpose 8 Institute. Here, I'll talk to you in a little bit. Bye-bye. If you would like to learn more about purpose beyond this podcast, Living a Life of Purpose, you can also purchase one of my books that are available on my website, purpose8institute.com and also on Amazon. Thank you for joining me on my podcast, Living a Life of Purpose, on Anchor and all other major podcast platforms. To learn more about Purpose 8 Institute and our ministry of sharing the importance of purpose, please visit our website, www.purpose8institute.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and even TikTok. Hey everybody, this is Brenda Devine from Purpose 8 Institute, and you're listening to my podcast, Living a Life of Purpose, where we discuss the importance of purpose in our everyday lives. Discovering and living out your purpose keeps you focused on God's purpose. That is sharing the good news of salvation with others. This podcast is for people like me, still searching for the answers to who am I and why am I here? You and I were designed and created by God for purpose, and we have much to do. You can listen and subscribe to my podcast, Living a Life of Purpose, with Brenda Devine on Anchor and all other podcast platforms.